Hello and welcome everyone who is listening to the Alas podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Antonia Angueira, but I just go for Tony. And my pronouns are she, her. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Thanks for having me. My name is Balqees Jama. I am president of SOCA and have just been an active community member since I've come to SFU a few years ago. So that is my general intro. I was born in Ontario, kind of grew up in Saudi Arabia. I'm originally from Somalia. And had a little bit of a weird upbringing, but none that I regret, of course. Like, I had a very nice upbringing, but it was like a typical third culture kid upbringing.
I see. Yeah. I completely understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But anyways, so for those of you who are not up to date with what SOCA is, it's basically this organization. It's the Students of Caribbean and African Descent, a Black community group at Simon Fraser University. We work to create and support the community on campus in a spirit of inclusivity, social justice, representation, and community building. So you're the president. That's impressive. Do you mind telling us like a little bit about SOCA, how it started, like the beginnings of it all?
Sure thing. So the Students of Caribbean and African Ancestry, we go, SOCA for short. You just read out our intro, which was perfect. Yeah, our values are inclusivity, social justice, representation, and community building. We've been around since 1994. So that is older than any of us in this room, actually. Under a different name, there are a couple of name changes throughout the years, but it used to be Assad. Now it's SOCA. And yeah, it's just been a very active and engaged community since the get-go. We've had physical space on campus since 1997 and have really been a hub for Black youth in Vancouver, like not even just SFU, but the greater Vancouver area. We've done a lot of good work with groups on campus, including student groups, various departments, branches of the university like health and counseling, equity-related stuff, honestly, anything. And then, of course, we have our external relations, so other student groups at other universities, as well as local community groups like Hogan's Alley, for example. We do things related to equity, also fun events, like we really throw hype parties. That's nice. One of the things everybody looks forward to. Really cool socials. I'd summarize what SOCA does into events, advocacy, and services. And they really do range from a wide variety of things. We have the educational stuff, educational for ourselves as well as the wider community. We have the fun events, whether it's movie nights or game nights or just general icebreakers. And then other more culturally specific events too, which everyone is also welcome to.
Yeah. You were telling me earlier, we just met, by the way. This is like our first time actually seeing each other. I've heard a lot about you, but I've never actually had the pleasure of meeting you until now. But you were telling me how SOCA is open to anyone. So I remember, quick story time. I came here quite recently. This is my first year at Simon Fraser. And I was just looking around, and I remember walking past SOCA, because you guys have like a physical space, as you were saying. And everybody was like super, super inclusive. They were like, hey, do you want to come in? We have some brownies. We can like talk about SOCA and what it is. And I was a little bit intimidated because you guys looked so cool, but it was really nice to see that even though I'm not necessarily like of African or Caribbean descent, you were still willing to include me, and you were still willing to teach me about, like what SOCA is, and include me in your events and everything that you're doing. So if anybody listening is interested in joining SOCA or just like dropping by, it's totally an open space, and I want you to know that because I experienced it firsthand. So would you mind telling me a little bit more about like what you're doing as of right now with COVID? Like, are things going online, or like what's happening?
Sure thing. So, just like the rest of the world, we really had to adapt to, I guess, the COVID era. Everything did move online. And I think capacity really just went down for a while, as it did for everybody. But we still maintained activity. We still were active. Like, it's just that we were extra active before, and then it kind of just became active.
Yeah.
So definitely maintain the online events. Like I know we had a mental health workshop type of thing where we actually brought in a black counselor from like a local black counselor, and we did
That's
this a
amazing.
cool facilitated conversation. Um, we had games nights. I know there was some Black History Month planning. So we did continue stuff online. Now that as we've been transitioning to in-person stuff, starting this fall, we've had a lot more in-person stuff. So I know we had clubs days, and this panel discussion that we just had this Saturday actually were online. And the rest of the stuff has mostly been in person, but I hope to do a hybrid to make things accessible as possible. We have meetings every 2 weeks on Fridays at 5 p.m. consistently, and it's a hybrid. So people can come physically to SOCA if they would like, but they could also tune in and participate in the conversation to the same extent via being online, right from home. So it's accessible, I'd
That's
say.
good, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's really flexible. You
Mhm.
know, with like COVID and even just with like university and how hectic it can
Mhm.
get. It's nice that you can still drop in.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, what do you do at these meetings? Because you said that you have like Friday meetings. What's the deal with
Yeah.
those?
So there's always so much to talk about. And even, frankly, even if there isn't much to talk about,
It's just a good
it's
time.
still a nice time to check in and touch base with community. It's a really, really, I think one of the most important things about community building are regular membership updates, which we do through our newsletter every 2 weeks, and then also regular just check-ins. And meetings are our check-in times. So the structure of our meetings are, we do introductions every single time because there might be one new person in the room. We always do intros and like some type of prompt about what are you looking forward to, or tell us something about yourself. Um, and then we go into reports from the executive officers, and we are active, so there is always something to report. And then we kind of have discussions around the events, upcoming events, past events, how we thought they went, any like reflection type of things. We have our motions to pass regarding money stuff. And it's also for anybody who didn't get to submit an agenda item beforehand, then there's also a chance at the meeting, of course, at the very end, we have an open space, like open discussion time. It's just literally anything you want to talk about, we can talk about.
See.
So it's just a really nice and easy way for people to come. And we don't even have like off-record meetings or anything. Every meeting is a general membership meeting. All decisions are made at general membership meetings. An executive member has the same vote as a non-executive member. So all decisions really are open, and meetings are open to anybody.
You mentioned a newsletter. Do you
Yeah.
mind telling us like how we can like get like subscribe to the newsletter or
Yeah,
access it?
for sure. So if you go to sfusoca.ca/signup, or you just go to sfusoca.ca, you'll find a big sign up button on the corner, and that is how you sign up for SOCA, and that registers you on the mailing list. And
Perfect.
again, anyone is welcome to join. And some of our members, obviously, members are interested in various things. So we have different committees too. We have, for example, there's a dance team. You don't have to be a dancer. It's just if you're interested in dancing, whether it's like Afrobeats or dance hall, it could be reggaeton style, like anything kind of dancing. There's a dance team that just gets together
Nice.
and dances. It's up to them when they want to dance, like what they want to do, what kind of spaces they want to put themselves in. We've had, like, the dance team has been invited to perform, for example, at events in Vancouver, that type of thing. Or it's just, I think this year has mostly been just a practice at SOCA. Point is, it's flexible. We have a Black History Month committee. We have a cultural events planning committee. We have the party and pub night committee. And then we also have an advocacy committee. So we really do. There is something for everyone at SOCA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a very varied and open community, which I love, and I'm really excited to get to know you guys more. And if you guys, our listeners, I mean, if you want to reach out to SOCA, where can they find you? Where can they reach out to you? Is it Instagram or do you have like an email? What can we
do have an email. We are active, especially on Facebook and Instagram, but our email is sfusoca@gmail.com. If you reach out to us there, that is probably the most consistent way you'll get a response. But if you do reach out on social media, we are pretty responsive too. Like we have been using Twitter more as well this year. And actually just made a TikTok, so follow SFU SOCA on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say it's pretty easy to get in touch. My favorite way is obviously just come to the SOCA room.
Nice.
And like literally say hi.
What's the handle for Instagram and Twitter and TikTok?
For all of them, it's SFU SOCA.
Okay, perfect.
SFU SOCA. And yeah.
Yeah. And if people want to come check out your beautiful room, where can they find you?
So right now the signage in the Student Union building it still needs to be updated, and that's in the works. But until then, I always tell people to follow the signs towards the nap room. And if you find the nap room, you will find SOCA. Because we are right across the nap room. We're on the bottom floor of the Student Union building in room 1430. That's 1430. So you'll also find the other community groups there too. So it's a nice quick way to just check it all out at once is what I would recommend.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you. And I hope that we'll be hearing from you and from SOCA very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was us here at the Alice Podcast. Have a wonderful rest of your day.